Snap your fingers. Pretty decent crack, right? Yeah, I thought so. But how do your fingers know to do that? The right way every time. Muscle memory. But your fingers don't actually know anything. It's all in your head. You see, muscle memory isn't a memory in your muscle, but the memory of a movement stored in your brain. The cerebellum is the part that controls movement. It contains 50% of all neurons, even though it only takes up about 10% of the space. It's sometimes affectionately known as the little brain. Within the cerebellum, there are millions of neurons called Purkinje cells. That's Purkinje. Purkinje. It fans out like a flattened tree, receiving signals from more than 200,000 other cells. Connected to each Purkinje is one climbing fiber and thousands of parallel and mossy fibers. These fire off rapid signals, relaying information from the front line or what's right in front of you. Think of them all together as a giant orchestra playing millions of notes at the same time. The Purkinje is like the composer and conductor rolled into one. He decides which inputs to mute so that in the end a beautiful piece of music forms. Or your fingers snap. But that's only part of it. To make this chaos into a muscle memory that feels natural, scientists believe the brain does so in 2 steps. First, it encodes all the information, assigning what is right and what is wrong. At this point, more of the brain is being used to focus on the correct movement. The second stage is storing the action into long-term memory. Once it's firmly established, less of the brain is needed and the action feels natural. Ever driven home and not know how you got there? Well, the driving part was muscle memory. The brain didn't really need to think about that, letting you daydream. So what's it take to get there? Well, the jury's still out. To ingrain the skill, some experts say only 300 to 500 repetitions are needed. Others, 3,000 reps, or even as many as 8,000. But think about this. We've all heard it's like riding a bike, yet no one ever says, hey, it's like swinging a golf club. And here's why. When you learn to ride a bike, it's almost immediately a real-world situation. Spend an hour riding a bike and you'll have far more reps than an hour hitting your driver at the range. In fact, it might cause you to build a muscle memory that is a bad habit instead. On a bike, you could learn to ride in a ridiculous wobbly state. This would be the natural style that your muscle memory engages. But we don't do that on a bike. Yet this means that the same process we use to ingrain the correct form is also the one that can build the muscle memory for the wrong one. So you have a constant hook on your drives? That's muscle memory. Want to fix it? Build a new muscle memory. How? You guessed it, more repetitions, just differently.